Well, we're never gonna get this right. It's just not gonna happen.
That's probably best.
It was too smooth. It was going. It was going smooth. It was going well.
Best part of the show is the fact that we're never. We have a 30-second countdown and we're still not
still late. And I'm sitting here typing right now as we go, telling everybody there's no Facebook to go to YouTube. Because James is a nuisance to social media.
That's basically what it said. Like I was shocked. I'm like, what is it to keep misuse down? And I'm like, I was filming us from. You know what? It could have been bullying. It could be considered bullying.
What did we bully?
Bullying is a broad definition now, but like, I guess when you pick on people, it's considered. Like,
what'd you post that picked on anybody?
I posted a guy who took 4 swings at a golf club at a golf ball on a fairway.
You keep saying freeway.
I keep saying freeway. I don't know. With it teed up.
You posted that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But now, I think I was trying to do that live, but
America, really?
It's so soft.
Yeah. So soft. Well, I mean, we got so much to get into. We're gonna have to work the college football pick'em in, even though I don't want to, because we got so much other great content to get into. But we will work it in. It is the Sports Den brought to you by ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. This weather. Let's start here because this weather ties into ABC in a big way.
Good cider weather.
Oh, dude, it sucks. I'm going from here to train all day, and then Johnny's out of town. He's at a bachelor party in New Orleans this weekend.
Nice.
He won't, dude. He doesn't cuss, drink, nothing. So he's gonna be the chaperone, I guess. So I'm at the facility.
It's gonna be bad one day.
All weekend.
I hope it doesn't.
He's 27, bro.
I hope. Okay, well, I just don't want him to get 40, and then all of a sudden
goes wild.
Like somebody gives him some like
sniffing coke off of strippers,
some rum. He gets a little taste of a rum cake and doesn't know.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, I'm not wishing that on you.
But, yeah, I got you. But I say all that to just say I'm not griping about working. What I'm griping about is this cold, wet, like amazing whiskey weather.
Mm-hmm.
Like to just sit in the house with the TV on under a blanket, fireplace, if you will, watching some Hallmark Christmas movies because they're on in full effect, which we got to start doing our breakdowns because they've thrown us some curveballs this year.
So that's the content that the people want. I think we should just come like on a Tuesday or a random day. Let's do it. We're going to break down this Hallmark.
Have you watched any of the new ones this year?
I haven't.
Dude, they're different. They're different.
I heard there was an all black one. Or a black leading cast, maybe not all black.
I haven't watched that one, and I don't know if I will. If I want to see that, I don't go to Hallmark.
It throws off the Hallmark.
There's too many inconsistencies with that. I don't mean this in a bad way.
I don't watch Hallmark to learn about white people. I don't need it. I know about black people. I watch. That's what BET is for. Hallmark is white entertainment television.
Correct.
We have black entertainment television. There's white entertainment television. It's called Hallmark.
Let's not blur the lines.
Yeah, we can't. We don't want to be. Listen.
Segregate.
I'm trying not to get. Yeah, segregate.
Segregate.
We don't want to be. We don't want to be the minority that feels like it has to be forced and imposed in every aspect of society. We have our own area. We're cool. I want to learn about. This is where I learn about other cultures. That's what makes America.
This is beautiful. Where I go to get away from black people. I've been around black people my whole life. Just kidding. Just y'all calm down. Don't cancel me or do. It'll give me time off.
Is there a Hispanic entertainment television other than Telemundo?
Hit? I don't know. I don't know.
I gotta find it because I've learned enough. I've had enough Spanish Christmases the last decade.
No, that's true. But see, they've mixed it up because now it's not. I mean, it still falls under the same outline, but now it's. I don't know if I like it. I mean, I'm still watching it. I'm still dialed in. You have to watch and see. We'll break one down next week for you guys. Hallmark, and yes, we do like Hallmark, and we are completely good with ourselves as men.
I don't care what you say, man.
I don't care. Yep, I'm gonna watch Hallmark. I'm gonna eat Chicken Salad Chick.
Chicken Salad Chick is good,
and there's nothing y'all can do to stop me from doing either of those things. But I really want to, lay in bed and drink whiskey right now, but can't do that. But go to ABC for your whiskey needs. Or any of your, is this good wine weather? I don't know. Is that
you can
wine?
get and I learned this from, I'm not gonna say the company's name, but it's a restaurant that gives you a little wine. You get a monthly wine distribution or whatever. They have a spiced warmed wine. Like you can put it in
so it's like Captain Morgan of wine.
Yeah. You can put it in I guess I've seen people put it in a crock pot to heat it up. It's probably not something you want to put in a cup in a microwave. I think wine is too valuable for that. But it's like, it feels more like you're drinking
too much work.
It is. I just want to pour stuff up.
I know.
I don't like wine though. Wine is cool and it gives you a different vibe
until it hits you.
You know what I'm saying? Like it hits you, but it's different.
Yeah.
Whiskey warms you.
Yes.
No matter if it's on ice or not.
It's functional.
When it goes into your system, it warms you up, and that's what I need right now.
Yeah, yeah. So
that's why I'm in this hoodie.
With it on. Yeah, a lot to get into. We'll jump right in. We played golf yesterday. We played in a golf tournament. I don't really know what it was for. Firefighters.
Yeah.
Fallen firefighters? Is that what it was?
That was, yeah.
That was
Paul Davis or something like that.
Yeah. Well, that was the name of the company.
But they were doing it for fallen firefighters, right?
Right. Anyway.
That sounds good.
Yeah. If that's not what it was for, then somebody should have one for that. That's a great cause.
Yeah.
It was at Deer Creek. And so James got invited, and so we went to play. It was on a Thursday. We didn't really put a whole lot of effort into finding others to play. I just kind of assumed they were going to pair us with somebody, yada. Well, they did.
Mm-hmm.
We had a great time. I mean, we need to do this more often. And we've even talked about now, like, it'd be dope to do like an interview segment on a golf course, like playing golf, just mic everybody up. And there's no telling what you can get into in that 3.5, 4 hours. And James has a chance to be a pretty good golfer. You surprised me yesterday at the end.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
When I connected, it was going good.
It was good.
Yeah.
Sounded good. Everything was good. All that being said, we got paired up with a guy.
He's extremely talkative once you get to him. You left. He came to I won the 50-50 raffle, by the way.
Oh, well, good for you.
Yeah. And he sat at the table with me and the guys from Pods, the ones who brought us there. And boy,
I still don't know his name.
He was talkative. The guy from Pods or the guy we were?
No, the guy we're playing with. The guy we spent 4 hours with.
Yeah, I was just like, man, I don't want to talk to you. You lost 25 balls.
Let's go there, because I don't want to I'm not saying this to make fun of the guy, because it was just an experience. Let's say it was an experience. I've never experienced this on a golf course. My man, not from here. He flew in to play in the tournament. He's a sales rep, for somebody. So I get that. We get on the first tee, and my man says they didn't give me any golf balls. And my man didn't have not one.
He went to a golf tournament where you literally, there are things that you need.
Clubs.
I've seen people, because they only play 3 clubs. I've heard of, three whatever you call them. They have one iron that they like. They have a putter, and then they have,
that's their favorite driver. Yeah,
I've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen guys maybe forget a tee. I mean, that's kind of stinks. You should have that, but there's typically
I've gone and not had
there's enough tees to go around. I didn't have golf shoes.
Right, golf shoes are not a necessity. They help, but they're not a necessity.
I'm trying to think what else. Like
you could walk up to me and say, "Man, I don't have a glove," and I would give you a glove.
But it's kind of like a ball is very important in this sport.
It's the first thing.
It's like, imagine going to you and 10 of your friends say, "Hey, we're gonna go play basketball," and they're at your house. And you say, "You know what? Cool, let's go play basketball." They're at your house. We're gonna go play basketball, and you come up and like.
You get out there.
Yeah, and y'all are out there.
You're out there. Everybody's laced up.
They're ready to go.
Right.
Man, hey, I don't have a basketball. It was your idea to play basketball. And you don't have a basketball. You're going to the park, local park with some grass. You say, hey, we're going to play soccer. It's pretty important to have a soccer ball. Football, another sport.
Yeah.
It's pretty difficult to play without a ball. Now, the only thing you can do with football is maybe you can like you can get something to.
You can get a stick and just say kill the man with the ball.
Right. But like golf, you legit can't hit. You can't play without a golf ball.
Well, it wasn't even that. And I'm gonna give the guy credit for this, because we wouldn't really have content if it wasn't for him. And it's not like the guy. No, I'm just gonna say it like it is. He was treating my man.
He was treating my balls.
Like there was this unlimited supply. Like, so he's like, "Hey, can I get a ball?" So in that scenario, what I would do if I found myself without a ball, I'd be like, "Yeah, I don't have any balls. I thought they were gonna give a couple," which is very rare for a tournament to give you the amount of balls that he needed. Right. But anyway, I would go, dude, I don't have any balls. Can I borrow 5? Like, and when we get back, I'll get you.
I didn't realize he kept going back until you said something, because initially that's what he did. Yeah, he went and grabbed 5.
Yeah,
and brought him to his cart, and I noticed that he was pulling them out. But like, because they weren't my balls. I was given these, but at the same time, I have friends that listen to our show. They watch our show. Again, shout out to Chang, because people tell Chang when Chang's talked about. Mm-hmm. And I'm like,
well, the problem is Chang wasn't talked about. You were talking about a NASCAR driver.
Right, but I said I had a friend named Chang. But now, anyways, the point is, so it made it okay, even though his name was
nowhere near.
His name was Larson, and I have a friend that's Asian with his last name Larson too. I got my Asians confused. It happens.
You do not have a friend, a Asian friend, last name Larson.
Matt Larson. He's the guy who does my cooking for the tailgates. That's serious. Everybody at FSU knows Matt.
Oh, and he's Asian.
He's Asian.
Oh, I feel like you could have explained that better when all this happened.
After we had already gone too long in it, and I actually said it in there, and I was just like,
"Am I wrong on that, Miles?"
I got the wrong Asian. Now he's not Asian. He's Asian like how Kyle Larson is. Like if you look at Kyle
What's
Larson.
What's his name? Matt Larson?
No, Matt Larson's my friend.
I know.
Yeah. So he's
Matt. I need you to send in a picture, homie. Like,
I'll show you. Now Chang's Asian. Like he's Asian. Like ain't no hiding that.
How about
my point is he gave me 72 balls. And I'm like, man, I'm not. There's nobody that bad where you need 72. And it was a box of 36 and another box of 36. And I was afraid I was going to have to slow us down to go get the other box of 36.
Well, let's talk about what happened, because the guy's not a golfer. We'll just put it that way. Now, I love how bold he is. Like, my man, we're playing a scramble, so you take the best ball, which took him a couple holes to figure out.
Yeah.
You take the best ball, and you all hit from that spot. And for those of you who have played golf, you know that you use a tee on the tee box. Mm-hmm. And that's the only time you use a tee.
That's the only time you use a tee.
Not this dude. A rough, the fairway. He's teeing that bad boy up. Like, he had zero cares about you and your rules. But what started happening was he had hit a ball and it was lost. And instead of going to look for it, he'd just go right back to the bag. Mm-hmm. And I noticed this like 3 holes in, like he had hit a ball and it'd be findable, but he wouldn't even drive his cart over there. He'd just walk over to James' bag and he'd pull another ball, pull another ball, pull another ball. 14 holes in now. 14 holes in. James is down almost 30 balls.
Right. And I'm like, yo, where the hell did all the balls go? Mind you, it's not me losing.
James maybe lost like 3.
Yeah.
And so my man walks over to the bag and James goes, "Whoa, we're running out of balls."
Yeah, I'm like,
and then he didn't play them.
Then you stop playing.
He was just like, no, he hit one more and didn't go look for it again. Because remember, that's when I finally got out of the car.
Like, hey, man, it's over there, man. It's over in the house.
Dude, you can find the ball. It was like the most, I thought we were being punked.
Right.
I seriously was looking around the second hole that we played, which was the third hole. I was looking around. I'm like, all right, where are the cameras? Because this dude, we needed to have a camera. He was walking content.
He brought absolutely nothing.
We used one. We used a putt.
Yeah, he did have that. That one putt was legit.
We literally used one putt the entire day, but it was a good time. We had a good time. Hopefully my man got back to Houston safe in the weather. The bet. I love this too. Here's the thing that I wish we would have recorded because it was golden. He wasn't feeling it yesterday, and so before he would even hit the ball, he'd start cussing.
Yeah.
Like he would start his swing and he's already yelling about how bad the ball is before he even makes contact, which I respected. I respected that about the guy. But good times. We need more golf content. We definitely need more golf content. It was a lot of fun. Shout out to Deer Creek. In good shape. If you want to go play somewhere, if you want to go join somewhere, go join Deer Creek. Helping your boy out.
One that was Doc Swanson's one is the one that's
Dr. Swanson. Yeah, Atlantic. Yeah, I played Atlantic Beach on Monday. That's really stinking nice. If you're a baller, go out there. There's a wait list. There's a wait list to pay $30,000 to join a golf course. Just process that for a second.
Yeah.
There's a 50 to 100 person wait list to pay $30,000 just to join a golf course.
Yeah, I ain't got that.
Every time I think I've made it, something like that knocks me back down a couple notches. Couple things. I don't want to get into the drama from last night because it ended up being about nothing.
So he's all good?
All good.
Okay.
Yeah. A note to college players, please don't. This isn't the move. The move is not to scrub your social media accounts from the school you're at. That's not the move. Regardless of what you're doing, it's not the move. You can even leave that stuff. If you were to leave that school, you could even still leave that stuff. It's part of your story. It's part of your history. It's like, it'd be like in our days, us going through the photo album, going, I'm ripping this out because I went to this high school and then I transferred. Like it just doesn't really make any sense to me.
Right. On
any level. So just free game there. Don't scrub your accounts. It just creates drama for people, and I don't need drama in my life. What do you want to get into first? You got anything you want to get into right away?
Nah, just some really epic sports stories from the fan perspective.
Okay, let's go. What you got?
One, actually, this is the only person that I can say has the right to say this. And it's something that I truly, I think I've grown more annoyed by it as I've gotten older, because the people who are like, we won or y'all lost or like this, there's always this argument about like, don't be a fan later police.
I hate that.
I really hate
I don't mind the we or yo. I don't mind the we.
None of it really bothers me. It only bothers me when people were like, you just mad because y'all lost. I didn't lose anything. I haven't played.
Well, if you,
I get
if
what
you
you're
say
saying.
we,
yeah, I get what you're saying. But a lot of times I'm just like, my alma mater won. FSU, I'll say, I don't get a ring. But I get people who live and die by that. That's dope. The whole purpose of winning is to create other fans.
Yes.
And there
Correct.
are iconic fan bases that when they win, they have a large amount of people that come back that aren't the vocal ones. If the Yankees win, they represent a whole the largest city in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, everybody's going to say that we won. You're going to see a lot more Yankees hats. If the Dodgers win, they represent LA. They're gonna everybody. That's the LA team. I'm like the most popular one, right? I'm assuming like people are going to represent that. It's a large market. Cubs when the Cubs finally won, but I'm going to stick to two teams that America loves a little bit more in baseball in America's games. The Cubs because of WGN. Mm-hmm. That was something you got in the South, so you got a chance to not just the Cubs. I go back and I think, why does everybody like the Bulls so much? Oh, duh. That's because you got to see those games all the time. And TNT with the Atlanta Braves. That's why you saw that. That's why you're seeing all these people. TBS, my bad. I'm sorry. That's why you're seeing all these people say, hey, we won. This is the only what you identified with as a kid just came up. It's great. I remember
it's why I'm a Lakers fan. It's literally why I'm a Lakers fan, because all these shows, the Lakers in Boston, and my best friend was a Celtics fan, so I wanted to play
naturally. I got you. So that's not so. Just the people who are doing that, but Stop. The only person in America right now that's an Atlanta Braves fan that has the right to be able to say we won, or and he's not even being critical for people, but he's earned the right. And this is I have some amazing stories, spur of the moment stories. This guy has the greatest sports story of all time from a fan's perspective.
Okay, I don't think I've heard this.
I just put it in the chat today.
Okay.
And it's on the Braves Reddit. It was posted by Cold-Frame-5233. It doesn't say his name. I'm gonna fast forward. If you want to go check it out, I'll make sure we put it on our Twitter. Long story short, this guy, I don't know what he does, but he went to every game of the World Series. Some of them he wasn't gonna try to get, and amazingly, some of the tickets at the Battery is what they call it, aren't that bad price for where he sat. He got 2 tickets for $1,200 for him and his mentor, and they were like in the club section, I guess, of it. So I mean, whatever. But bottom line, he met some cool people. He even flew to Houston. Like, he took it all the way there. But that's not why he deserves to be able to say
okay.
He basically says, all right, so he comes here, game 6. He sits in the upper deck for $225 before fees. He gets it. Said, what a game. Braves dominate. Solar's ball is still traveling. World Series champs. I had to complete the coolest week of my life, but just wait for what comes next. Some fans told me where the team was staying, so I decided I should see if I could at least see the team after the game. I actually got pictures with Acuna as he's heading up to his room, and I thought that my experience is just peak. World champs. I met the best player before injury. I noticed a lot of guys are going into some roped off area at the hotel. I also see family and VIPs going to the same place. I've been to 6 games. I have to get in there. Some family VIP member was going in, and I told him, yo, I went to all 6 games. I got to get in there. And you know what this family member does?
This is dope.
Instead of saying, who the hell do you think you are? He says, what? You been to 6 games? Hey, yo, he's with me.
That's cool. That's
and
really cool.
They let him in. I go upstairs, not knowing what to expect. Well, I walk into what is the most epic World Series celebration with the team. I found myself drinking $3,500 wine with a player named Jock.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure, because I didn't know because it's Atlanta. I'm thinking Young Jock. No. I hope it wasn't Young Jock because he hasn't been relevant.
This guy was played a huge role. Yeah.
All right. So he drank $3,500 wine with him, which is cool. At one point, I went to the bar and the bartender was busy, so I just grabbed the wine. And Jock looks at me and says, "Do it. They won't do shit."
Dude, this is awesome.
I outed myself to Matzik, Luke, Ben Ingram, basically telling them everything that happened. He said, I told them how I went to every game. It was just a fan. Every one of them was like, now here's why I said he can say that. He told them the story, and you know what they told him? Dude, you deserve it. You deserve to be here if you did that.
This is a dope story, man.
Dude, pick it up. Not pick up the $3,500 wine.
Okay.
Not pick up a player.
Okay.
He's not telling him to pick up some random chick.
Okay.
He's telling him to pick up the World Series trophy.
Wow.
My man has a picture holding kissing the World Series trophy.
That's so freaking awesome. Props to the Braves, by the way. Props to the players.
To the players, like being normal people, not being jerks. But here's every situation I've ever been in where people don't know me, that I've gotten a chance to have an epic experience. It all comes from walking with purpose and acting like you belong,
and not being a tool
and
or
not being a tool, like not showing, not like just walking like you're okay, we're not sure if he belongs, but he's walking like he does.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people know who the superstars are.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of people who get in certain places that they don't know who they
could have been in the clubhouse.
Yeah,
you could have been like,
you could have been a trainer. You could have been a lot of things, but like, that's the stories that make sports. And if somebody tells you this at the bar, you're like, man, shut up. You're full of shit. That didn't happen. My man got pictures to document it all. It's this, and this is why you must document stuff. It's not just, don't just experience it. It's cool at certain points. Like if it's if it's some ratchet stuff going on, don't get your favorite team in trouble. But like this experience, nobody believes you without pictures. Not this guy.
That's so amazing, man. That's super cool for the Braves. Like that, the whole thing's. Here's when you say the trophy, when I was in Indianapolis in August, I went to a Colts preseason game. We had really good seats, like the best box there is, outside of the owner's box. And so they brought the Lombardi trophy in.
Oh, wow.
And so I got to hold it, take pictures, stuff like that. I'm not really, I don't even know like who I'd have to see to ask for an autograph. You know what I mean? Like there's nobody that I look at and go, oh, I want their autograph. I just think that doesn't do it for me. Maybe no. Like if I saw LeBron out somewhere, I wouldn't ask for an autograph. I wouldn't ask for a picture. But that trophy,
trophy.
I was like, yo, I need a picture. And then let me see the picture. All right, take it from this angle. By the way, the trophy's not that heavy.
I saw it. They have it at Indy.
Okay. Yeah.
So you can take pictures with it.
Yeah. It's like, I used to think it was
my bad. You said not at, like when you go to at the combine.
Yeah. But like stuff like that's amazing.
Yeah. Like if I got a chance to, like, I'm not even big into hockey. I like hockey when I go, but if I got a chance to be around the Stanley Cup, you damn right I'm gonna take a picture with the Stanley Cup.
No doubt.
It makes no sense to not.
And the only reason why I said that about the autograph, now, if I had the ability, I would pay huge money to have the ability, fresh off a Super Bowl win, to party with Tom Brady and hold that trophy with taking a picture with him. Now that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
That's not even a fan. That's an experience.
That's greatness.
Yeah. It's just like bump it. Leonard Fournette. Like that's just an experience. You know what I mean? Anybody who just lived that, but that's dope, man. That's awesome for the dude.
I'd take the picture just for the documentation for stuff. But like I'm not doing a freaking photo shoot, and I'm not gonna act like I know him, like unless we had a dope conversation. But the other side of it too is where you're at right now, Denny.
Mm-hmm.
If you told me, right, you went to LA, you had dinner with LeBron,
right,
is that outside the realm of possibility?
No.
So I don't need you to take a picture. You don't really need an autograph. Like you don't need anything to validate it because you've got enough things.
I would definitely take a
to
picture,
validate.
Though, yeah, I probably would.
Now
that I'm thinking about it, I probably would.
And again, I learned this about myself too. What made the fake Trevor Lawrence thing go viral, and even when it was debunked, my friends to have.
So let people know James drove around the fake Trevor Lawrence.
Bella, she's at Alabama, phenomenal
young lady.
Go check her out on social media. It stinks because she's actually an attractive young lady. Outside, like when she puts makeup on and all that stuff, when she's dolled
when she's not Trevor.
Yeah, when she's not Trevor. But like, you know, if you saw the picture, you'd be like, "Yo, Trevor got yams. Trevor is not yammed up like that." Like, but
your point is, everybody believes that you would have that.
They were like, "That's not knowing." Like, even the stuff that just doesn't make sense. Even if they flew first class, which they didn't, they flew coach. Which, come on, Barstool. At least first class, man. We got Shad Khan. Shad Khan would at least fly.
Everybody knows they were private jet.
Yeah, well, I mean, but I'm just saying, like, even then, like, you flew in coach, man. It blew the cover before it even started. Not that, whatever. But my friends are just like, I'm like, dude, you really think like the Jags are going to have me
the first day?
I'm the first person that Trevor Lawrence is going to meet. I was like, even if the Jags listen to our show, as bad as I talk about the Jags, you think they're going to be like, hey, let's go have James go over here. So, but they're like, dude, following you is seeing your life. Nothing is outside of the realm of possibility for you. Like, you probably could have talked your way into driving Trevor Lawrence around.
Yeah, no doubt.
But so, I mean, those are the things that
Tiger. I have to take a picture with Tiger.
I'm video. You saw it when I interviewed Tiger.
when you invaded his personal space. Is that what you mean? Speaking of, Rain Man sent us this article about the 25 highest paid athletes of all time. Did you click on that at all?
No, I didn't click on it.
It doesn't talk about their net worth. It talks about what they made, like how much money they made, earnings. And it's got their actual money, but then their inflation adjusted earnings, right? So if it were in today's dollars, or if they would have invested all that kind of stuff, right? Michael Jordan, $2.62 billion.
I could believe that. Remember how he became a billionaire? Like when he bought into the minority. He was a minority shareholder of Charlotte.
Okay.
And what happened was he bought to become the majority guy. Like he bought shares from somebody, and then the valuation of the team pushed him into the billionaire status.
There's a couple that are like interesting on this list. Tiger's second, by the way, at 2.1 billion.
LeBron can't be far away.
He's seventh.
Okay.
Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus.
I can see.
Like you don't think about that because of how old they are, right? But 1.5 billion for Arnold Palmer and 1.38 billion for Jack Nicklaus.
I thought Jack would be.
Well, I did too. But I think Arnold Palmer had a clothing brand, and that's where I was going with this. Like you see, like the Jordan brand,
and they have to pay. He's probably getting major licensing from Arizona. They have the Arnold Palmer drinks, and they actually have like a picture of him with his name, with his autograph.
But you see, like the shoes. We both are shoe guys, which I'm getting out of, by the way. I've found that I really just want like a couple pair. I'm tired of making the decision of what shoe I'm going to wear.
It's a very difficult decision.
It is. But anyway, boy, talk about a first world problem.
Yeah, definitely.
All these shoes.
It's not so much the shoes as much as it is the stuff to wear. Like there's some of these colorways. Then you gotta
go buy a new hoodie because you bought this shoe that you don't have. Yeah, right. Man.
And it's the colorways. Like I'm like, dude, what am I gonna wear with these colors?
It's a tough life. I like the shoe, like the J's, the Michigan color J's.
Yeah.
I don't have anything. I don't have any yellow, so they just sit there. I've worn them one time. So what? I mean, so why don't I just go buy all white shoes? Just go buy a couple pair and rock with it.
You know what? This is. I don't know how good this is. I don't know how long our show is going to last because what's happening is you're transitioning.
What do you mean?
You're transitioning into pops. This is. You're not far away from. From New Balance, the New Balances, man.
Dude, the New Balances are dope.
They are. I'm not talking about the new ones. I'm talking about the get off my lawn 13s. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, Pops wears Crocs.
Okay, I feel fair.
All the time.
Oh, what's the Nike shoes that everybody talks about?
Oh yeah. I don't remember what they are, but yeah, they are very prevalent at the radio station.
Yes, we can hear it. We can hear your shoe choices. I guarantee you, nobody's wearing super dunk mummies.
My only point is, who was the pioneer? Who was the OG of the athlete with a clothing brand? And it may have been Arnold Palmer.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't know because with golf that makes sense though.
Like I would love to know that though. Like who was Babe Ruth didn't have. I mean, I don't. Maybe he did.
I don't think. No, not during that time. Nobody was really. Going back to what you just said. Literally, Sears and Roebuck. The magazine you were getting was a pair of white shoes, pair of black shoes. Would you like patent leather?
What about Muhammad Ali? Did he ever have anything?
Ali didn't. Ali just wore. It was a different. This is why I know Babe Ruth and them, and even Hank Aaron, who was the reason why I'm saying him, he was voted the best dressed player in the minor leagues before he got called up, and I know about that because he struck a semi endorsement deal during that time with a local clothier that put him in suits.
Okay, yeah.
So like that's what he.
But it
was
wasn't
doing.
his brand.
But it wasn't his brand.
He was just endorsing.
It wasn't about brands then. It was about there was only so many brands, and it was about I'm going to rock this. It wasn't about individualism. That didn't really come into. Maybe Arnold Palmer was the first person with that, but
I wonder
that
who
really
it was.
didn't come into it.
If you know, let us know.
And even then, it was just like, even Jordan didn't even have a brand at first. It was just he wore
Nike. Yeah,
he was who Nike put their.
But they've done it. They've done it different now because like LeBron, I think now has his own brand or his own side.
Well, Jordan
Nike.
has his own.
No, I know, but I'm saying
like that's
Jordan
what LeBron got. Yeah,
Jordan kind of changed the game with it. But when you look through this list, you know, there's like Greg Norman's on here. Greg Norman, wine, clothing, not golf. Like, I mean, that's what led to all of it. But Greg Norman did not make $815 million on the golf course. He probably didn't even make $50 million on the golf course. Floyd Mayweather, 6th.
I believe it. Now he's the guy who made all of his money in the ring.
A lot of it, yeah,
and gambling.
Yeah, and then there's
talk about bet on yourself.
Kobe, $930 million.
Did you see why? Did you see what his $6 million investment into body armor? Coke bought body armor. His $6 million investment is $400 million now.
Wow, that's so. I love hearing stuff like that, man. That's so awesome. Peyton Manning, $570 million.
He's gonna be. I think he'll be on.
He's
track
the
to
only
be the
football
first,
player.
I was gonna say. I think he'll be on track to be the first football billionaire when it's all said and done.
Yeah, he's the only football player in the top 25. There's a couple baseball, dominated by basketball and auto racing. Really, that's
why football players used to scream so much about being able to take their helmet off. Because basketball, you can be individual if you're the superstar.
Bro,
because you see yourself. You see
Mike Tyson. What do you think he made?
Like, are they not counting when he went bankrupt just in general?
Just earnings. It's not net worth. It's earnings.
Mike's got to be easy, upwards of 300, 400 million.
$775 million.
I believe it.
How do you go bankrupt?
Well, you haven't ever heard Mike. Mike is an interesting.
Oh, that's person. Right. That's right. He had some bad advice too,
like letting Don King but Don King robbed everybody.
Yeah,
but then some other people, and then he was very.
How you rob boxers and you still walk around?
That's what happens when you Charlemagne the God talks about this. It's a difference between being a tough guy, having bodyguards, and having men in suits with guns. I want the men in suits with guns because they're not going to tussle with you. But, oh man, I forgot what I was about to say with that. But Mike Tyson is just a very interesting guy, and he may skyrocket back up the list with some of his investments. The marijuana farm, like people talked about him. I think he said it was something stupid. I'm like $3 million. It might have been higher than $3 million. He smokes $3 million worth of weed. And the first thing everybody said, wait. I'm gonna explain it. The first thing everybody says,
will you clarify just the $3 million annually or over his whole lifetime?
No, annually. But hear it out.
Okay.
And the first thing and this is why I tell people don't try to understand that top 1%, whether it be athletic, money, whatever mindset, and you're like the 99%.
I'm with you all the time on that, but I'm interested.
But here's why. He literally lives on a weed farm and he's an investor in it. He's not smoking. He's not paying for that weed. He's smoking the discarded stuff after they've already packaged everything. So it's literally what they like. He's basically testing it. Like they have to smoke this much weed. So it sounds really, really bad, but it's not.
The way you just said that, you just sound like the biggest enabler ever. He basically has to do it.
Well, no, it's part of the bit. It's part of the cost of the business expense. It's not coming out of his pockets. It's coming out of the companies, which he's an investor.
$3 million of weed.
It's not just him. It's him and the crew. It wasn't just him.
Okay,
it's not just like
okay. That's not the way it sounded.
But what I'm saying again, it's the headline. I'm saying what the headline said, and the first thing everybody's like, "See, that's why you went broke." It's like, no, it's different when it was $3 million in your bank account.
Okay, I see where you're taking this.
And you paid $3 million to smoke weed.
Yeah, you got a problem.
No, what they gave you was $3 million in value, and that's just what they're saying. But that's why I believe Tyson will be, because he's in some of these things.
You know how you see how they, like you see, they'll make like a. This is what $1 million cash looks like. This is what tip. I want to see what $3 million of weed looks like.
That'd be interesting. I saw what $1 million,
and I want to see it rolled in joints.
I saw what $1 million in ones look like. Well, I mean, not personally, but like they did when the Super Bowl was in Miami. Adrian James owns a couple of adult chicken wing establishments, and they had like $1 million. He went to get prepared. He got $1 million at once, and it was literally like this little Sprinter van, and it was packed all the way like up to where he was.
That
at
would be
driving.
Interesting to look at. Yeah.
Now I'm pretty sure with him driving that, there was somebody in front, to the sides, and behind him to make sure that he didn't get robbed. $1 million is $1 million. I don't care how it's.
No, I completely disagree.
You think Edge was just running around?
No. I disagree with $1 million. $1 million. What the hell am I going to do with $1 million in ones? Think about
you're
that.
right. You're right.
Where are you going to put that?
Fair. That's heavy. It's got to be heavy, right?
I wouldn't even think. I'm just like, what do you do? Like, what?
Like, if it were me, like, I don't.
You want to drive up to the bank?
Ones. I'm not depositing it in the bank. I am spending it, but I don't know. That's a lot because you got to store it. It'll mold. I only know about that because that's what they said happened with
Chapo.
Yeah, all those guys.
That was crazy. Like, if you haven't watched that, that's a man had billions of dollars hidden in the ground, wasn't it?
Yeah, Chapo, Escobar, all those guys. Like, because you can't put it in a bank. You can only clean so much money. That is a good.
I want to see what $3 million of weed rolled looks like.
Man, that is.
I want to see just a picture because I want to see how big his crew is. Because I'm calling BS on this. Is essentially what I'm saying. Like,
listen, I don't have.
He may have been given. He may have been given $3 million of weed to smoke. There's no way it actually got smoked. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody says to you, I'm going to give you $3 million of anything, you're going to take it. You may not use it. Some of it may get thrown away. That's a lot, bro.
But
how long would that take?
But knowing Mike Tyson, is it like? Have you heard like some of the? He's like the most interesting. Like those, not the Dos Equis guy. He's literally the most interesting man.
Oh, there's no doubt.
This man was with. So remember, Dr. Dre and Ed Lover, Yo MTV Raps. Just because I remember being confused as a young man. Like, wait a minute, Dr. Dre was kind of fit here and then he's fat now. Like, what happened and why is he in New York? But Ed Lover was telling a story about being out in New York and seeing Mike Tyson at a party when Mike Tyson was the champ. He's like, you gonna come party with me? We gonna party. So they left the club at 2. They go, and I think, like, I forgot where Ed Lover, let's just say he was from Brooklyn or something like that. And they take him to Queens. And he's like in a party in Queens and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yo, I gotta go, Mike. Champ, I gotta go. He's like, all right, man. He's like, but you gotta take me back to my car. My car is in Brooklyn, man. That's where we were at. And he was like, nah. You know what? Threw him keys to a Bentley in the early 90s. Said, we'll get a link up later. He's driving a Bentley around for like 2 years. Mike doesn't even realize it. Like, Mike's money manager had to finally, he's like, hey, do you have a Bentley from Mike Tyson, blah, blah, blah? And he's like, yeah. Okay, I'm going to have somebody come pick it up. But like, he's like, you guys are parked in front of his mom's house, his mom's row house. And then he's like, I got to put this up. I can't have this Bentley parked here for days. And then he's like, he's waiting for Mike to call him.
Which is why I'm saying there's no way he smoked $3 million.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he may have just given it away. He may have just thrown it away. Like, he may have given it away, or like, because, and then when you hear him talk now, like, it's just, he talks as, you know, he talks like a rich guy that lost it all but got it back.
I love listening to Mike Tyson.
He's like, you know, he's like, you think money, you know, solves everything, but it doesn't provide you happiness. And I'm hearing him because he's lost it all and got it back, but you got it back. If you were sad.
No, you know what he talks like? He talks like a guy who's been through some crap, man. Like, and he's come out the other side of it. I love hearing that. I don't love hearing OJ because that's a different kind of crap. But I love hearing like Mike Tyson.
Like, I get it, right? I get it. And I'm with you.
Okay.
This man, I'm not even going. This man killed somebody. Killed 2 people.
Yeah.
Went to jail for the wrong thing. I don't think he should have went to jail for the other thing. Like when he was going back to get his
karma.
Stuff. But they had to put you, like, that's your fault.
Right.
You can't like if I got off, I'm not finna go keep testing it.
No.
It's like the drug dealers in his mind. I don't understand. If you get off for something you know you're guilty for, sit your ass down somewhere in a corner. Chill out. Give it a little bit of time. But whatever. And then you write books like If I Did It. Whatever. The fact that OJ Simpson is living his best life in spite of all of this stuff, and it's like the amount of fucks that he doesn't give is admirable. Because everywhere he goes, he knows people are like, hey, he did it.
That's not the part. I agree.
Okay, all right. Because I'm like, when he's at the Bills game, like in the suite.
No, I agree with that.
Like,
I mean, you got to live a life and you're out. You're not just going to sit in a corner. Like, I agree with that. I'm just saying, like, when I hear OJ talk, it comes from a different place. There's no remorse. There's no regret. He's petty. But with Mike Tyson,
I see what you're saying.
Mike Tyson's like educating people. Mike Tyson's like, yo, I went through this. I did this. That's
he's always been. I just posted something where he talked about, people stabbing people in the back and getting on top. He's always had like this, and that's the scary part. It's like he's a genius, but it's wrapped in this really weird voice.
Yep.
This very weird speech pattern. Yep. And inside of a psychopath.
Yeah.
Because even when he goes like now, like,
which, by the way, most geniuses are psychopaths.
That's true. Like he can talk to you and it can be all good, but then it can just, and then you're just like, whoa, what the hell just happened? Like,
I saw a video of him at a roast.
Oh God.
And they were roasting him, bro. He's like, it's like two different people. He's laughing at one time, and the next time he's like looking at him. I'm like, that crossed the line? Like,
yeah, it's like the things that, like, yeah.
It's like they just said something way worse, and you're like slapping your knee, and he's pointing at everybody else laughing. It's almost like he's a 3-year-old in a genius's mind.
Right, I get that.
And it's the most interesting thing to watch, man. I absolutely I can watch Mike Tyson all day. I had a
teammate like named Ty Williams that was just like that. Dead, but like he was selling a guy because they will always crack jokes. Offensive line are some of the most hilarious creatures in the football world. Like nobody tells a fat joke better than a fat man.
Exactly. Yeah.
Todd told one of the guys, he's like, hey, that's funny. What happens when it stops being funny? And then he looked at me and I was just like, yo, I'm gonna get out of here, man. I don't know where this is turning, man, but this is crazy, man.
Hey, I want to circle back around real quick before we get to the college football picks on the Henry Ruggs situation. We talked about this the other day. Right. Twice the legal limit of alcohol in a system, going 156 miles per hour in a vet, runs into somebody and kills the driver of the other car. Obviously, Raiders cut him. His life is forever changed, all that kind of stuff. But where I want to go with it, you and I were talking about this yesterday on the golf course a little bit when we talked about this on the show, about the sympathetic part. Dude, I've become the biggest fan of Derek Carr. I don't know if you saw what he said yesterday about it. This guy, and Tua was emotional about it, but wasn't as well spoken as Derek Carr about it.
Right. He's also a lot younger right now.
Right. The whole point in saying this, like, if you're not paying attention to not just what Derek Carr's doing on the football field, but the person he's become off of, this guy is a superstar, man. Like, he is the next Tony Romo. He is very smart, very well spoken, handles his business. And I'm not going to quote it because I'd mess it up and I don't have it here. But if you haven't heard what he said about Henry Ruggs, we have this platform, so I want to say this. Go listen to it, because what he's talking about, if we could all buy into in general, solves a lot of problems.
Yeah, I don't know the totality of what he said, but I know what he said at the end, and it's something that I hold dear. It's normally not like that in the pros. Because you don't get attachments to guys like that. They're not around. Like in today's game, you're not around. It's not like the set, like when they owned your name and your contract. Right. But when he said, like, I'll be here for him.
Yeah.
And I think I saw Damian Woody and my man George Foster, and a lot of guys who played, and I get what they're saying. But I also understand what these young players are saying. That were friends of his.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody makes a mistake. Let them go through the blah blah blah. Don't leave. And then I understand what the old heads are saying. Like, nah, you young guys don't want accountability, because that's what it sounds like. But I think what the young guys are saying, and I think that what a lot of people are missing, is nobody's saying that he shouldn't go to jail. Nobody's saying
Correct.
that he's right all of a sudden for what he's doing. What they're saying is like, yo, that's my guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would I leave? Like, right now, yes, that young lady's family needs all the support. If you know them, support them. Henry Ruggs' bank account should be tapped to make sure that a lot of this stuff,
and it will
be. But that doesn't mean that Henry Ruggs should be thrown away. Remember the first thing I said? I don't want him to go to. I want him to go to jail, but I don't want him to just sit there and rot, because it's a lot that could be learned from this situation. This is to prevent somebody from doing something. I think we view prison as you do something, and it's the wrong way. You do something, and it's because of how it's been televised and marketed to us. You do something, they lock you up, throw away, you never can be right again. I think this guy is only 23 years old. Even if they gave him 25, right, which they won't, I think it's going to be I heard between 2 and 10 is actually what
I heard 15.
But the prosecutor said, you never know. The judge can add whatever he wants to. I know the least amount he can do is 2, which I don't think that's right. The most, whatever. That's not the point. Either way, he's going to be a relatively young man when he gets out. And I don't want him just sitting in there and becoming a better criminal. I'd rather him use what happened to try to make sure we don't have any more of these things happen. I want him to I don't want him to just talk about when he got drunk. I want to talk about the TikTok video or IG, whatever it was, where he's just with his girlfriend and they're just flooring it on a straightaway when he's stone sober. I want him, talking about how it affected his life and affected another young lady's life, and what he talked, because there's a video where they show him with her trying to console him after he realized it, because one angle makes it just seem like he's just sitting there and he's not. Then the other angle shows, he is sitting there looking at this car on fire.
He knows.
And he knows whether it's my life is over, he knows something bad is going. There ain't no good coming back in the recent future. So that's my whole point. And Derek Carr, if nothing else, is consistent.
Yeah, I've got the. Go ahead.
And that's what I like. If nothing else is consistent, he was like that for John Gruden, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, you just do that." But he's the same thing with his African American teammate. And you know who's kind of like that, or who was like that? When I've seen in recent stuff, and he got grilled for his opinions and blah blah blah, but he grew. It reminds me of Drew Brees. Drew Brees is consistent with his support of the people who he backs. And
that's interesting. You're right.
Those who are that, and so to the point where he feels like, oh my God, I hurt my teammates. Let me go and try to, because I don't feel like he was just tap dancing and backpedaling because some quote unquote liberal agenda. I feel like, I'm with these guys. I've been with most of these guys for most of my life.
I didn't know
that. I didn't know this affected them, and that's what you do when you care about somebody. You have their back and you change.
Well, Derek Carr was talking about, I guess, that Ruggs and his girlfriend were at Top Golf, which the Vegas Top Golf is unbelievable. But he was there, and he was talking about how Ruggs was sending him videos of his swing, talking about, all right, I need your help. I want to play golf. I want to learn to play golf, yada, yada, yada. And then all this happened, 3 hours later. But Derek Carr's quote, and this isn't the whole thing, he says, I will always be here for him. That won't change. I'll prove that over the course of time to him, not to anybody else. He needs people to love him right now. He's probably feeling a certain type of way about himself right now. He needs to be loved. If no one else will do it, I'll do it. He said this at a press conference. That's just, I don't know, man. I don't know what it is about that, but I don't know if it's just because I'm fanning on Derek Carr, but this dude's a real deal, man. If you want, we talk about all the time how you don't hold players to a certain level, a certain standard. You don't make them role models, all that kind of stuff. If as an adult, though, you want to see where the world needs to head and where young athletes, not just the bad stuff, but the good stuff, just go Google Derek Carr. Go look at what this guy's doing in the community, on the field, off the field, all that kind of stuff. Like, dude's a real deal. I'm going to really legit effort to have him on the show in the off season. We have some common friends. He and Nate Peterman are super close.
I believe it.
So I would love to just have him on and just kind of hear his story. Real quick, let's get to no, we're gonna get to
Northeast.
Yeah. Executive Health and Med Spa. Get over there. If you're not feeling right, if you're not feeling good, get over there. They'll get you feeling good. Maybe you need testosterone shots. Maybe you just need to recover better. Maybe you need to see a doctor. Just about everything going on that has to do with your health, fitness, diet, whatever it is, they can help walk you through that. If you need to have blood drawn to see what's going on, they can do that as well. If things aren't going well in the bedroom, they can help you there. Now, when I say that, I don't mean like if your issue in the bedroom is you can't get to the bedroom because you can't get somebody to go there with you, that's not what they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably could be
not Executive Health and Med Spa.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I know where you were going with that. Not Executive Health and Med Spa. Get over to Northeast Florida Executive Health and Med Spa. Let them help you out. Tell them that the SportsDen sent you. Real quick on the Jags, and then we will. Any interest in OBJ?
Yeah. Better than what we got.
Is he?
Not better than, I think him and Marvin Jones, I think he's a good compliment to Marvin Jones.
Is he good? Is he any good anymore?
I don't know.
It's been so long since he's done anything.
Wouldn't know. He had the injury,
right?
And Cleveland's just been a mess.
How does that happen? How do you go from, because OBJ for 2 years was getting the best corner every week and wearing them out in one-on-one matchups. Is this a situation, and I think we need to talk more about this, like we talked about the other day about when you get money, it reveals who you are? Or
because I don't really know. Like, he hasn't really been. I think.
Oh, he got paid from Cleveland.
No. That's not what I mean. He hasn't. Like, it's not the antics that we normally like. The biggest scandal I remember is he wore a Richard Mueller watch that was like $1 million. No,
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about work ethic. I'm talking about my
feeling. Like, Eli Manning was going to the Hall of Fame because of his last name and 2 Super Bowls, and fine. I don't think he's the greatest quarterback in the world, but I think he was good enough. That's how I don't think Baker Mayfield is that good. And not just because I saw he got targeted a lot, more than all the other people. I just think some people, when you don't vibe, especially wide receiver, if you don't vibe and you don't have that, you don't feel you have a good quarterback, it just really throws you off. And I just don't think it ever meshed. And it's done better for Landry and some other guys, but it just hasn't really, forget OBJ. Has this Cleveland project really benefited the way outside? Last year was the first time it finally hit. But this Cleveland project it took some years to get legs.
Well, it has benefited from the sense of they're much better than they used to be.
Right. Okay, fair.
It's not like they used to be the laughing stock, but I think it unless you have Tom Brady, I think you're almost like crazy to expect a Super Bowl out of your team
every year.
But
what I mean is
any year.
It's but when it happened, you went and got Jarvis Landry, who's the best wide receiver for the Dolphins. You got OBJ, who was considered at the time possibly the best wide receiver in the NFL. You got a tight end. I think you got the Njoku or whatever his name is from Miami in the draft, and I think you brought in another tight end in free agency, and you had 2 running backs that actually came there.
Yeah, you talking about offense, yeah, and offense. Baker, yeah,
and then Baker was there. How? That only works on Madden. How do you not
and then defensively, there was a time people were arguing
you already had Miles.
Yeah, that they may have the best defense, the best roster, maybe. People have argued at times as a Cleveland.
Right. So it's just when you have all of this stuff and you have these expectations and it's not being met.
But here's where I was going with this. He's played 8 seasons. 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. I'll ask both of you. 8 seasons, total number of touchdowns for OBJ.
70.
What'd you say, Miles? Dang, man.
That's
He is disrespectful. Like, damn. Less than 2. That's like, damn. Oh, okay. I mean, 51.
Okay.
Okay. Total yards receiving, 8 seasons. Career.
You said he's only played 8 seasons. He's probably 5,900.
I mean, Miles going to say like 300.
3,000, yeah. 3,000.
7,000. So he's had years now. Some of these years he's been healthy.
With 2 years he's been hurt. He's almost averaging 1,000 yards a season.
So he's had 1305, 1450, 1367. Gets hurt in New York, comes back with 1,052 the next season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In Cleveland, he had 1,035, 319, 232. It's like, is it Deshaun Jackson? Is that the receiver
that just got cut?
Yeah. Okay. Taking a flyer on him if you're the Jags makes sense. He costs you nothing. Why not? It can't get worse. You need a speed guy. Go.
Right.
OBJ is not a $9 million a year guy.
No, but aren't they have to restructure his contract to put him on waivers though? So if they paying him, and it's not going to cost you $9 million to get him.
I'm not against getting him, but I don't want if he comes here and it works for the rest of the season, what do you do next year? He's still OBJ. He's not going to stay here for $2 million. You know what I mean? Like my point from a Jacksonville only standpoint, like if you are the Rams or you are anybody that's in contention, I got it. But with Jacksonville, your focus should be 100% on getting synergy and development for Trevor for 16.
Here's my problem. And it goes back to what I saw last week. And I'm using this in the clinical term. I'm not calling him this. I'm using this. His development was retarded by last week's game.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning it severely went backwards. And if that's what the rest of the season is going to be like, we're going to have a guy who's good that we're going to mess up.
Because you don't have a number one. You don't have number 3.
One. Yeah, you don't
got one number 2.
He's not going to know what eventually. But people got to realize that people are human. If you keep getting hit, even when the pocket's there, you're going to start moving. That's probably what's happening with Patrick. Again, you want to see not what's happening. Patrick Mahomes is so used to having success doing something one way that now he keeps doing it, and it's messing him up.
Yeah.
So taking that from a bad standpoint, if he always has to flush the minute he sees any trouble, he's going to move around. He's going to mess up, and then all of a sudden you got a taller version of Gardner Minshew, and that's not what you want. That's one thing. Number 2, and I don't know this off the top of my head, who are going to be the top available wide receivers in free agency? Because you're going to have to attack it if you want this team to get better.
The problem is, can you get them? I mean, there's a couple. I mean, Devontae.
Right. But I mean, will somebody else sign them? Will they stay where they
choose to be here?
Yeah, and that's what I mean. So, like, if OBJ if next year free agency is he in your top 10 at wide receiver? And if he is, it makes sense to get him because he's part of your next 3-year plan. I guess what I'm
saying, though.
But I get what you're saying.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, let's say he comes in and he kills it.
Right.
He's done nothing to prove that you can trust that next year he's going to do it again. That's my bigger. If they signed him, I'd be like, dope. Okay, let's see what we get out of him. And that's not my problem. That's Trent Baalke. Like, that's his job to figure out what to do with him next year. And I just want relief from having to watch this shit that we're having to watch this year. Like that.
That's the biggest thing. Is like, that's just because here I have my friend asked me, he's like, hey man, do you think the Jags are going to win this week? He's like, don't just tell me the woe is me.
The Bills?
Right. It's just $100, and $100 get you a lot of money. I say it's a reason why the $100 get you a lot of money. I said, bro, James Robinson is injured right now. Like if that doesn't tell you everything that you need to know, I don't know what else to tell you.
You would have football. For me to put $100 on the Jags to win, the payoff would have to be $2,500. It'd have to be like that significant. Otherwise, you are literally just wasting.
I'm not even giving $100 for that.
For 2,500?
Because I know it's not happening.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, you'd have to tease me so bad that I'd just be like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna put 100 somewhere else. Let me blow it here instead. I'm not going to buy another pair of white
like
New Balance shoes.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give the money to somebody who deserves it, who can use it better. The poker room. I'm not gonna gamble like I'm gonna gamble with Vegas. But yeah, it's just like, whatever, man. Like the Jags, our luck. One, he's been injured, so right now that's Trent Baalke's MO.
Yeah, that's true.
He's got a higher
jet
value
here now. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. All right, let's get to the college football pick'em. Brought to you by GreenAcres. Make sure you get to GreenAcres for all of your hunting and fishing needs, all of your Second Amendment needs. I mean, you don't have to hunt or fish. Maybe you just want to carry. Maybe you want to protect yourself. Get to GreenAcres. They have everything there over off of Normandy Boulevard. You can go to greenacresporting.com as well. Make sure when you go, you tell them that the Sports Den sent you. Please, 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 please. Don't forget that part. I did not do well last week.
Really?
Yeah, not at all. In fact, at one point I was 0-7.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. For the year, it's taking forever. I'm 42-38. So that means last week I was like 3-7. I don't know where you're at.
I'm 34-56, but I got 4.
So you're 4-6. Right. Okay.
So
actually I was 2-8 last week. Ouch. Yeah, I was 2-8 because I was 40-30 going into last week. So need a better effort this week. Let's start Ohio State, Nebraska. Nebraska had it going for a minute. Like Nebraska was like, okay. I see you, Frost, like getting it going. Not so much. They're 3-6 now. Ohio State is 7-1, just outside of the college football playoff right now. And Ohio State is favored by 15.5 going to Norman for a noon kick. This is an easy one for me. I'm taking Ohio State.
I'm taking Ohio State too. You know how I feel about Scott Frost.
This is another week. This is 3 weeks in a row that we've seen this happen where a top 10 team is playing an unranked team, but the top 10 team is the underdog. 3 weeks in a row this happened. A couple weeks ago, it happened twice. Both top 10 teams won. Last week it happened. I think the top 10 team lost. So this week it's Wake Forest against North Carolina. At North Carolina, 4-4 North Carolina, 8-0 Wake Forest. North Carolina favored by 2.5. Where are you going?
I'm going Wake.
I'm with you. I don't understand this line at all.
That's because North Carolina has better players, but Wake has a better coach team.
I don't know if they do. I don't know if
North Carolina's defense, but the problem is they got beat. Was it Wake Forest? Not Wake Forest. Was it Notre Dame they played last week? So my man, Mr. Go 30, I just saw the video. And I'm sitting here watching like they got beat unmercifully.
Who, North Carolina?
Yeah, I don't know who they played last week, but Wake Forest this is one of those, like I usually joke and say like Wake Forest every 3 years, every 4 years has that team. All the seniors have matured. This team is pretty good, man. Like
they are pretty good.
It's just like no real knocking.
Quarterback's playing well.
Do I think like when I played, would this be a top 10 team? No, college football is still kind of weird right now. Do I think that they should make it to the if they go undefeated and play in the college football final, they're going to get drugged?
Yeah.
But hey, they're playing,
but they're
well
still
right
undefeated.
Now.
They're still a top 10 team. Ole Miss, Liberty. This is going to be interesting. Two quarterbacks playing against each other that you will hear arguments for them to be the first quarterback taken in next year's draft.
Is Matt healthy? Because I know he got hurt.
I think he is. I don't know. Ole Miss is favored by 9.5. They're 6-2. Liberty is 7-2. Matt Corral against Malik. I'm going to take Ole Miss on this. Liberty was much better as a team last year than what they are this year. They lost a lot, so I'm going to take Ole Miss. But props to Hugh Freeze and Liberty for even being part of the conversation right now.
I'm going with Ole Miss too.
Okay. The surprise of the year right now, Michigan State.
Not to me.
You didn't think they were going to go 8-0,
I didn't think
number 3 in the country.
But I told everybody they were going to be good.
And is this going to be a hot name?
Yes.
No. So
it's hot now.
Is he going to stay?
I think he's staying.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame him.
Somebody told like Florida State fans right
Mel
now
Tucker's who
are playing fantasy football coach, and I'm like, I don't know why Mike's not going anywhere. And Mel Tucker would be a fool. And one of these names, Mel Tucker would be a fool to come here. I also said this: Florida fans are doing this too. So they're like, well, what do you mean? I said, one,
He's getting paid.
Big Ten, they have the money in the contract to match whatever we try to throw and outbid. And they're like, well, we could. I was like, no, they literally know every year they're getting like 50 million or whatever the spread is from the say two. Whereas we're trying to build facilities that are going to be obsolete. They already have an obsolete facility. All they have to do is go build whatever it is that they want, but they're already in the game.
Yeah.
It's just so many things. And this top 3 finish, right? Let's say they just make the Final Four. He's got job security for 10 years. Even right now, he's got job security for 10 years.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, why would I go? And this is what fans got to realize. Why would I go somewhere where I'm going to get fired the minute that it gets bad? I'm going to go somewhere where they're going to appreciate me.
The only reason that I can think is they're in East Lansing.
Yeah, like, I mean, he doesn't like snow. He's basically
Have you
in
ever
Detroit.
watched a Michigan State game, where the weather wasn't hideous? It's like, I'm thinking about Michigan State games. I can see their field, but it seems like every single time I've watched a Michigan State game, regardless of the time of year, it's raining.
Yeah, it's just like
that would stink. It's like what we got out here today is like a beautiful day in East Lansing.
If he wants to like come to Florida and get some, but no, I don't think I think he
can vacation here.
Yeah, I mean, when you're that rich, yes.
That's very true. They are favored by 3.5 over Purdue. I'm going Michigan State on this. It's at Purdue. I'm assuming you're doing the same.
Yep.
West Virginia 4-4 hosting Oklahoma State, who is 7-1. Oklahoma State is a 3.5 point favorite, ranked number 11 in the country.
Is he just like the best coach that nobody gives props to?
He's got to be.
He's never won anything.
He's got to be, because he never has. Like, I went and looked the other day. He never has a decent recruiting class. I think he's too much. Someone I'm looking for of a novelty to take serious, but he's really good.
I mean, he's like this. They're like this all the time. Like, he'll probably only win 9 games this year, but like, it's like every year.
I agree. I completely. But that being said, I don't want Mike Gundy as my head coach.
Not at all.
Wherever I'm at, that's the weird thing.
I think he can only get away with it in Texas.
I'm actually going West Virginia in this one, though.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I'm a man. I'm almost 40. I'm gonna go with that.
3:30 kick in West Virginia. It's their Super Bowl. I'm gonna go with them on this one. Really good game here. 13 Auburn going to 14 Texas A&M.
You know what? Out of spite,
A&M's favored by 4.5.
I'm going Auburn.
Smart move. That's a smart move. I'm going Auburn as well. I'm telling you guys, Brian Harsin, and y'all can isolate this in 3 years and make fun of me if I'm wrong. That's fine. Brian Harsin is going to be a superstar in the coaching world.
I didn't like the speech that he gave like last year, but I get it's that speech that
I don't even remember what it was.
It was just one. It was about being tough and all that stuff. It's that stock speech that almost every coach does. But he's got a history of building, and he can.
He's got a great staff.
Everybody talks about, like, again. This is I only can use this. No knock on Mike. I think Mike did a tremendous job of taking Memphis to that next level. Mm-hmm. But people got to remember, Fuentes is the one who came in and made Memphis a little bit more relevant. When Fuentes got the program, it was down. When Mike got it, it was ready to take that next step. Mm-hmm. So, but what I see what he's been able to do now, he maintained what Boise did, but Boise takes, like, they live in that 3-star, 1,000, the number, the 1,000 ranked overall player in the nation, and making them into something range. So, like,
because those kids stay for 5 years,
right.
But he's recruiting pretty well at Auburn.
Well, Auburn, he has a logo behind him, and he's got the cachet now. So you will recruit well at Auburn. But I think I just, when I watched what he was able, what Bo Nix is able to do, Bo Nix looks more competent right now.
He's come further in 8 weeks than he came in 3 years.
Yeah.
Baylor at TCU. Baylor favored by 6.5.
TCU's like
reeling right now. Absolutely.
They're talking about hiring Dion. So
are they really?
No, I think it's a ploy. I think Dion's agent just does a really good job of keeping his name in the news.
Dion's not even coaching right now, is he? And he missed the last couple games. Yeah. I'm taking Baylor. You're taking Baylor. LSU, Alabama. Alabama favored by 28.5 over LSU. And I'm still taking Alabama.
I don't think they're beating them by that much, but I think Alabama's beating them. I know Alabama's beating them.
I would go with you if it wasn't for the infamous Ed Orgeron.
I didn't listen to what he said about his coaches.
No. I'm talking about a couple years ago.
Roll Tide.
Right. And then run into the recruit section. This is Nick Saban's last time getting to play Ed Orgeron before he hires him.
I still don't like this decision. Not that. I still don't like just take him out of his misery, man. Just fire him.
That ain't Nick Saban's problem.
No,
Nick Saban's like, look, you're gonna be on my staff next year. You're gonna be an analyst on my staff. But for right now, I'm about to beat that ass.
Right.
I'm about to hang 60 on you. So I'm taking Alabama.
Facts.
Oregon, Washington. Oregon 6.5-point favorite at Washington. I dove into Oregon's season a couple weeks ago because I've got a buddy that coaches there, and I was talking to him. And if you look a little deeper into what Oregon's done this year, the loss that they had against Stanford was a really weird set of circumstances. Offensive coordinator had to go to the hospital like the morning of the game or the night before the game. And they weren't able to get like the play calls in that they wanted, stuff like that. They didn't have a quarterback that had been there a long time. A lot of things went around. There was a couple other things that went around. Oregon's putting it together, man. And like Oregon may be in this Final Four.
I believe it, and I believe they'll get drummed. Here's the reason why. I'm
in the Final Four or against
in,
Washington?
In the Final Four. I'm picking Washington.
Okay, I'm picking Oregon.
But
go ahead.
And that's a really legitimate like issue. Like when you don't have your coach, like communication is a big factor, right? I'm trying to go back. This ESPN thing always does this weird. Yeah, they lost to Stanford 31-24. Cal isn't any good. They beat them by 7. And Cal had a chance to win that game. UCLA has a top quarterback. UCLA had them dead to rights until their quarterback got hurt, and they had to put in a young guy, and the young guy threw the pick 6 or threw the interception, and that sealed the game. Washington has a good defensive coach, the coach Lake, Jimmy Lake, and it's a rivalry. And I'm only going with it because I have some of the guys from Fifth Quarter, our Oregon channel. Like, I like them. They're actually some of my favorite writers. I just see them going back and forth for Washington people, and I want them to lose so that I can kind of rib them a little
bit. Jump in it.
And then because for whatever reason, Oregon wants to, because the one time they got a chance to get a seat at the table, they beat us, beat Florida State.
Infamous Jameis memes.
Yeah. Yep. And for whatever reason, we're not rivals. They like to bring it up every summer. So I need Washington to do the Lord's work so that I can
fair. Okay.
So that I can feel good and feel good in our misery.
That's fair. Last game, Texas San Antonio Roadrunners. I need a hat, by the way. Coach just signed a fat new deal.
Was it fat or was it long years? Because
it's a Lane Kiffin deal.
It's 10
years.
It was
a Lane Kiffin at FAU deal.
Okay.
With a little bit more money.
Okay.
Fat for that. I think it's close to $3 million a year.
And they're joining a conference.
Yeah. They're 16th. They're 8-0. They're playing UTEP. I don't know anything about either one of these teams, but I'm going to take the favorite. I got nothing else to add.
San Antonio?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Okay. All right. That's it. What you got this weekend? Anything?
They're telling me that it's just going to rain in the morning, and then by 4 p.m. kickoff, the game should be good. So I'm probably going to end up going to Tallahassee to see NC State.
NC State.
Fresh Florida State. Go home, see my mama. Just
good.
Chill out and then go back. Then get ready for the tailgate next weekend when we play Miami. So we'll have a big one.
Where's that one?
It's in Tallahassee. Last 2 games in Tallahassee. I haven't been in a while because of the kickoffs. But I'm going to go check them out and see some people. Have a good time. Thought about going today, but I ain't going out there.
I am working all weekend. And when I'm not working, we're still moving. So I'm at the new house. So that's what my weekend has in store. So, and then I got to watch a freaking Jaguar game.
Oh,
technically, I guess I don't have to.
Well,
we're not doing I got to talk about them all week. Yeah, I got to watch the Jaguar game. By the way, real quick, Florida covered this week, 18.5.
Where they play?
South Carolina.
I think South Carolina. South Carolina got a tight end that's cold. Freshman. Real good kid.
If Florida doesn't cover that, if that's a close game, I'm telling you, heads up in Gainesville.
Heads up in Gainesville, heads up in Louisville, heads up a couple places.
If somehow, and I think Florida does cover it, but if somehow that game has to be won in the fourth quarter, it's going to get ugly in Gainesville. It's tipping right now. So heads up. But anyway, we'll be back on Monday. Yeah, Monday. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Get to thehumidor.com for all your cigar needs. Type in sportsden, all lowercase, all one word. You'll get 20% off of your order. Get to ABC as well for your weekend festivities. Be safe out there. Nasty weather. Be safe. We'll talk to you on